repair McRoof styles. Now on the air from the McRoof Radio Network. I'm Rick Allen Lippert, here with restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler, Scott McCullum.
Hey, good morning, sir.
Retro Radio Randy is the wizard on the other side of the curtain.
Howdy do, everybody.
He'll answer your calls to 405-656-5868. Act 1 of the show today will start with our trivia question and tool of the week, which will be posted soon after the show on the Home Repair McRoof Style Facebook page. And as always, we're taking your home repair questions. That number again is 405-656-5868. In Act 2 of the show, we'll have our What Were They Thinking segment. Scott, what's the title of this week's horror story?
Talk about a mixed bag, Myrtle. This is ridiculous.
Then in Act 3, we'll have our After the Storm tip and wrap up with some very wise words from Scott's dad. And, of course, coming back from breaks, we'll have some really obscure historical trivia. And, yes, there is a bit of Beatles today.
Okay.
The McRoof Radio Network includes KOKC in Oklahoma City and KALV in Alva. You can also hear us on the iHeart Radio app. Search for KOKC. And we are live streaming the show. Yes, we are. On the iHeart, on the Home Repair McRoof Style YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe while you're there. Wherever you are, you can call us live on the radio, 405-656-5868. And I must tell you that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 80000002. And the registration applies to residential and commercial roofing. Okay, so welcome, Scott.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Let's get to the trivia question, shall we?
Okay, and there's a method in my madness here.
Okey-doke.
All right, we combat heat in the summertime with proper ventilation. What do we combat in the wintertime with proper ventilation?
Okay. All right.
So everybody's all concerned about, their hot attic and the hot garage and things like that. And then it gets to be about this time of year and people forget all about it and just don't think it's important anymore. And proper ventilation of your home is critically important year round.
Okay.
Okay.
So you selected for and if you think folks out there, if you think you know what we're combating in the wintertime in your attic ventilation, give us a call, 405-656-5868. All right, so the tool of the week, you selected the Gorilla brand 8 cubic foot pro grade poly dual wheel wheelbarrow.
There you go.
$200 at the Home Depot.
That's right. And man, I tell you what, you talk about a beast. This thing, we were working in the yard, getting trees, getting dead wood, and while the leaves are still there, getting the dead wood and things out, that we know is there, and kind of cleaning some things up, kind of preparing for a new fence along the rear property line and stuff like that. And man, it's a tote from that back fence line to my driveway.
Sure.
So this little two-wheeled wheelbarrow was really, really nice. That thing, the single wheel, you hit a little rut, you hit a little hole in the yard and digs in. That dual wheel, you just pop right over it. There's no ruts in my yard. You can't even tell that we've been running that thing all over the yard for the last week. So
nice.
Super nice, super nice. And that vinyl that thing's constructed of, it is tough. It really is. I think, I think about the only thing we could have done is set the chainsaw in it with it still running and probably cut the vinyl up, but you're not going to do anything to destroy that vinyl short of that. So great tool. Great
we
tool.
have a caller on the line, Jason.
Already?
Wants to give us a shot at the trivia question. Jason, let me repeat it for those of you who just tuned in. We combat heat in the summertime with proper ventilation in your attic. What do we combat in your attic in the wintertime? What do you think?
Moisture.
Ding,
Yes.
ding, 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 ding.
Wow, very good.
Now we're gonna have to get into this now. We haven't heard from Jason before, I don't think. Jason, why do you know the answer to this question?
Yeah, you've heard from me about 7 or 8 months ago.
Oh, okay.
With a similar question as to what does the most damage in a home, and it was also moisture, but mainly water.
Okay.
But yeah, no, and I actually have a handyman business, and I get calls every so often for people to, will you come cover my vents? And I have to go, well, hold on. You actually don't want to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I would love to come and take a look around their attic and make sure they don't have any mold growth or anything like that going on, because, yeah, if they've been doing that, it's often the case that they do.
Well, and you've got that, being a handyman, you obviously, I'm sure you've replaced your fair share of rotted soffits and fascia boards over the years, and that's all from that condensation that forms and then drips down into that soffit in the wintertime. So absolutely. You got to have that intake ventilation to take care of that, and then proper exhaust. So anyway, that's cool. What's your territory, Jason? What do you consider your kind of home base or geography?
I work as far south as Norman, Edmond as far as the north. I've gone out as far as the eastern parts of like Midwest City area and Yukon, Mustang, and so pretty much the whole metro area is anywhere I cover.
Have you got a sweet spot as far as the type of jobs that you think you're particularly good at, or the kinds of things that you really, really kind of specialize in, or is it truly, that honey-do list and anything that they need done?
It's one of those, it's more the latter. I've been working for an out-of-state property management company and handling a lot of their repairs for rental homes, and so you get a lot of variety of stuff. Lots of water damage is a really, really common problem, but it's just about anything, from replacing a fan to, just anything that needs to be done. If you can't turn a screw and you need that done for you, I'm the guy to call.
Well, Jason, I tell you what, I'm gonna give you the opportunity, if you would like to put your phone number and the name of your business out there for folks. If you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. I understand. But if you would like to do that, I'll give you the opportunity to do that, so some folks could reach out to you for their fall projects, if you would like to do that.
Absolutely. The company name is Jasco Paint and Handyman, and you can do a Google search to find that if you want to find the website. And my phone number is 405-205-3077, and you can call or text me on that as well, and you can also message me through the Google, like everybody uses that nowadays for stuff.
Okay, so 205-3077, is that correct?
That's right.
All right. Well, Jason, we appreciate it. I tell you what, it's interesting that you mentioned the property management companies and things. We're going to send you back to the guy on the other side of the glass to leave your information so we can get you a book. Leave your number where I can reach you, other than this number, or an email address. I'd like to reach out to you as well, see if it's the same property management company that we're handling their roofing repairs in the metro. If it's not, I might like to connect with you and with your management company and connect you with the one that we're doing business with. So let's talk some more, okay?
Absolutely. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Jason.
All right,
Have a good day.
Jason, here you go. Back to Retro Radio Randy. Thanks for calling.
That's cool. Well, I know if I ask a question that has to do with water or moisture, Jason's going to get the answer. So.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Hey, I want to go back and talk about the Gorilla dual wheel wheelbarrow for a second, because when you sent this to me and I first took a look at it, I didn't quite notice that it was the dual wheel.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, wheelbarrow, fall clean up. Okay,
No,
I got
the
that.
dual wheel
And then
was
I
the
noticed the
critical-
dual wheel, and
yeah,
I thought,
that
now we're talking.
Yeah, that was the big element of this.
Yeah, we had to put a man on the moon before they figured out to put two wheels on the wheelbarrow.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
But that looked like a really good job. Hey, that reminded me, though, of an old joke on an Army base with the sentry guarding a warehouse. When Private comes in and goes into the warehouse and then comes out with a wheelbarrow full of straw.
Okay.
All right, they're guarding a barn. This sentry is guarding a barn. And this goes on every day for a couple weeks.
Okay.
Private goes in there in the morning, comes out with a wheelbarrow full of straw.
Okay.
After a couple weeks, the Century says, I know you're stealing something, man. What are you stealing? And the guy goes, wheelbarrows.
Oh, that's a good one, Rick.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Anyway,
That's funny.
so tell me about your past week.
Oh man, we had a kind of a busy week around here. We were doing some things with, again, we're kind of getting the three companies unified and a lot of the messaging. So we've been doing some work from a digital standpoint, figuring out where we're going with that.
Yeah.
So that's taken a lot of my time out in the field. We had a week of getting these repairs and things done. Again, the Daylight Doctor and Roof RX. We're really getting the calls from people now that need to get things done before winter time.
Okay.
And so we're out there, and of course we prioritize repairs. When someone calls Roof RX, the first thing we want to know is that if they have an active leak.
Right.
Okay. And if they have an active leak, as opposed to someone who's calling for an inspection or someone that's calling for something that doesn't have an active leak, then we're going to move them to the top of the list.
Right.
So we work through that on a day-to-day basis. Done a great job on that. Did a couple of small re-roofs this week down in the Moore and Norman area with redecks and things like that.
Okay.
So it's been a good week. But I think I told you a week or two ago that we have captured or been awarded a couple of pretty large commercial projects.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that has to be done on that. You've got to get your purchase orders ready. You've got to get your credentials lined out. You've got to, in our case, we have to upgrade some insurance coverages and do some different things to be able to meet the requirements of the general contractor, the whole bonding side of things and all that, things that, come along with that kind of work. Takes a lot of work on the back end. So we're taking this opportunity to take our entire operation, all of our companies, and looking at all of our insurance coverages from a business auto standpoint, liability standpoint, equipment floaters, bonding, general liability, everything. We're putting it all out and trying to get it put back together in a way that's going to allow us to have our multi-state operations meet the bonding requirements on an as-needed basis, to where every time one of these comes up, it's not a one-off for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Where I'm having to do so much of this work. So that's been a big part of my week. I know Scotty and the guys have been out, had a really good sales week as far as some new contracts and things like that. We've got folks who are calling us to get roof inspections. I think I told you last week, had a little lady that called and, right at 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon and said that the boys keep coming by telling us we need a new roof. Well, we went out and Scotty went and took a look at it, Scotty and Wayne. Let her know that, in fact, yes, ma'am, you do need a new roof. And she called her insurance company, and 2 days later, Scotty was out there on the roof with the adjuster, and so that's
nice.
Moving down that process.
Very nice
so
indeed.
Anyway, that's the way it's supposed to work. So.
Okay.
All
And
right.
with that, we'll take our first break. We'll be back with Act 2 of Home Repair McRoof Style on the McRoof Radio Network. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. He's Restoration Specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. We're taking your home improvement questions to 405-656-5868. Let's see, thanks to Jason for answering the trivia question, but when we come back, we have some really obscure historical trivia for you. This is the McRoof Radio Network.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but this is that time of year that I'm pretty confused. I don't know if I'm calling a heat and air guy about my heating or if I'm calling it about my air conditioning. But either way, folks, Brad's Heat and Air has been serving the greater metro for almost 40 years. They install and service every brand of heating and air conditioning equipment. They're certified American Standard dealers. They also install April Air Central Air Cleaners as part of your home's central HVAC system. If you're tired of seeing the dust around the house minutes after you've cleaned and dusted, you've got pet dander or pollen that's just killing your allergies. If that's your case, give Brad a call. Talk to him about the April Air System. You'll have a healthier home and you'll breathe easier. Give Brad a call to service that heating and air conditioning system now before you really do need that furnace to work properly. Brad's Heat and Air at 405-799-7823, 799-7823, or visit online at bradsheatandair.com. Tell them Rick and Randy sent you.
Hey, Scott, I have folks tell me all the time that they can't find anybody out there to inspect their roof or to just fix a leak. You started Roof RX to remedy that issue, didn't you?
Well, I did. Roofers are in the business to replace roofs. They're not in the business to inspect, repair, or maintain them.
So what's so different about Roof RX then?
Well, Roof RX is a standalone company totally separate from McRoof. The inspectors are trained professionals armed with knowledge and technology. They are not roofing salespeople. Our repairs are guaranteed for life, and we offer a money-back guarantee.
Wow, that sounds great, but I'll bet you're booked up for months out.
No, sir, we're generally no more than a week or so out, and of course we get on emergencies a whole lot faster than that. Get on our list by calling Carly at 405-877-ROOF or online at roof-rx.com.
Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army and was stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy was the pilot of a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy. November 11, 1943, Homer and his crew, along with 31 other bombers, flew a mission to destroy a ball bearing plant in occupied France. On the return trip, a mechanical failure caused the plane to drop out of formation, leaving the Yankee Doodle Dandy vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109 shot the plane down near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board. The others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 21 years of service with numerous awards and citations, not to mention the Purple Heart. Homer Stacy. Homer Stacy McCullum. Scott McCullum's dad. Scott McCullum is McRoof. McRoof is owned and operated by the McCullum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to improve or repair your property, call 855-766-3405. Ask for a no-cost roof assessment and home inspection. That's McRoof, 855-766-3405. That's McRoof.
And Home Repair McRoof Style returns for Act 2 on the McRoof Radio Network. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. He's restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. Retro Radio Randy is working the phones when you call 405-656-5868. Do you have a home repair project that has you bumfuzzled or maybe even flummoxed? Give us a call. I hate being flummoxed. Hey, on this date in 1836, Sam Houston was inaugurated as the first elected president of the Republic of Texas. And I've been working on the rail. Oh, wait, the wrong song. 1861 on this date, the first telegraph line linking west and east coasts was completed. And because of that, telecommunications began, and it got us all the way up into the 20th century. And on this date in 1964, this band was rejected by EMI Records for a recording contract. This group was called High Numbers. Well, they went on to become The Who. But they were rejected for a recording contract on this date in 1964. How's that for obscure historical truth?
Pretty obscure. That's pretty obscure. I was gonna give you some obscure. How tall is that statue of Sam Houston down there outside of Huntsville as you go into Houston.
I don't have any idea.
No, I don't know either. I just thought I'd give you something that's pretty obscure. It is, you know what I'm talking about? You've been down that way?
No, I haven't
There's
been.
this huge white statue of
Okay.
Sam Houston right beside I-45.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm guessing it's 50, 60, 70 feet tall.
Okay.
I mean, it is, and Sam Houston standing, he's got his cane. I think he's got a law book or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
folded on
I've
his-
driven by it, I think, one time.
it's,
Yeah.
I'm sure I could Google it, but it's
Yeah.
tall. It's tall. It's not an easy answer. Like, how tall is the Coke bottle on Route 66
Right.
at Pops?
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy like that. But
But
anyway.
hey, our man in the press box.
Yeah.
I know that OU's not playing today. So, how far behind are they?
I think that's a scoreless tie at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
And-
Randy. See, this is a hard day for him with the Oklahoma State Cowboys playing the Texas Longhorns. This is a tough day for him. So.
I am an orange guy. But on the positive side of things, Central Oklahoma is playing an away game at Washburn today. They play at 1 o'clock. So I'm all in for the Broncos.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
Hey, Scott,
Yeah.
I don't know about in your neighborhood, but in my neighborhood, I am already seeing Christmas decorations.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, I had told you that after Labor Day, we typically get this influx of phone
Sure.
calls about, oh, you know, we know we need to do this, we put it off, hadn't done it. My wife's telling me, you got to get this done because I want the house decorated before Thanksgiving, okay?
Oh, my goodness.
And so, yeah, we're starting to get those calls. It was funny. We had our homeowners association meeting a week or two ago, and somehow Wanda and I ended up being responsible for our little entranceways.
Okay.
And you know, they're not grand like some of these subdivisions. They are little entranceways, but they want us to get something that competes with some of the surrounding neighbors, like Iron Horse and some of the
Oh, my
bigger
goodness
communities
gracious.
for Christmas. So we got our Val pack or our
Yeah,
whatever in
right.
the mail the other day.
Yeah.
So Wanda went through and pulled out everything that had to do with Christmas lights. We got our home mag.
Yeah.
We went through and circled every ad that says anything about Christmas lights.
Oh,
And
my
so
goodness.
this next week, and most of them say things like that if you, you know, if you sign your contract or you place your order prior to November 10th, that you'll get a discount, things
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
So this next week, I'm gonna have 3 or 4 of those folks out, see what they can come up with a minuscule budget to make our entrances look nice for Christmas. So
You know, it's so disconcerting to go into a drugstore to get Halloween treats and
oh,
see
yeah.
and have to walk by Christmas
Yeah,
decorations
it is.
to get to
It
the
is.
Halloween stuff, which is Halloween stuff popped up like Labor Day
Well,
weekend.
you know, something to me though is, I seem to remember Christmas commercials on TV a whole lot sooner last year than what I'm seeing this year.
Well, probably because the politicians, the
maybe
people running for
they
office, they
ate up
bought all the time.
airspace.
Yeah, you wait till
Got
after
you.
election and
Got you.
you'll start seeing some
I've got
Christmas spots.
And I don't want to, you know, I'm not going to get off into the deep about politics, but I do want to ask you a question.
Okay.
If you know the answer to this, I really want to know the answer. You know those things where they quote unquote fact check,
Right?
okay? How can I go to someone in the local marketplace who will fact check something? And, you know, I've thought about, you know, the general manager of KOCO, Brent, whatever.
Brent Hensley.
Yeah, I thought about emailing him just
Right.
as a suggestion. Would someone please, you know, would you please do this?
So I think before I can answer that, I need to know if what you want to fact check is something that's been in the news.
I want to fact check an ad. And
Okay.
again, I'm not taking sides or anything else. I
Sure.
just want to fact check an ad.
Yeah.
I want to know
If what they're saying
I
is
want to know
true.
what the nitty gritty of that really is.
Their claim is true.
Exactly.
You know, when I used to teach at OU in the Gaylord College of Journalism, I taught a broadcast writing class, and when it came to writing the spot, I quite often would have a student ask me, well, where do we send our scripts to be approved by the federal government? And I would say...
The student would ask you that?
Yeah, well, because they thought, well, if it's on TV, it has to be true, right?
Oh, my gosh.
And I got to say, I'm sorry to say, the only way that we learn about untrue, false advertising is when the lawsuit has been filed, when somebody brings a claim against an advertiser for disseminating false information.
Yeah.
And I guess it's really to our benefit that we don't have to have everything approved by the federal
Well,
government.
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
And again, we're on this subject. I'm, as a relative newcomer to Oklahoma,
Well,
okay,
12 years.
15,
Okay.
but anyway,
Yeah, okay.
As a relative newcomer, is Oklahoma politics historically dirty?
Whoa, now I'm going to open up a can of worms. I have been here now 50 years, and I will tell you that one of the first observations I made was that it appeared to me that Louisiana politicians come here to see how it's done.
Okay, that answers my question. Man, I tell you what, I come from Texas, and I think that they thought they were pretty good mudslingers, but man, they got nothing on these folks.
Nothing.
They got nothing on these folks.
Hey, let's get back. Let's
get back to something else.
Let's see. Well, nothing more has been going around my place. We took out part of a tree last week. I talked about that, and other than having my yard guy haul off the great big, huge limbs that I managed to knock down, nothing's been going on. At the Carpenter Square Theater, we finally, I think I even mentioned this, last week, we were going to, and we did pick up on Sunday the materials we needed for the catwalk so we can build our platform about 12 feet off the floor, which is about halfway between the floor and the roof. So we have a two-stage ladder system. So we have the materials for the catwalk. We just now need to still get the plans.
I was going to say, you still don't have a signed initial plan.
Still don't have the plans.
Yeah, I think I would wait until I had those in my hands, and then I'd probably make sure I had somebody that could read the fine print. But.
Right. Well, I want to submit the plans to the city to see if, what we're thinking about doing will pass inspection, because we don't have, we just can't afford to.
Oh, I thought the city already had them. I thought that's what you were waiting on. No. I got you. You're not even to that point yet.
I have a volunteer architect who
I got you.
I'll have them to you right after lunch.
Working with volunteers is great.
Yeah.
Okay. But, volunteers and urgency are two things that are mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, that reminds me of another.
Randy's in there laughing.
Another
story.
Another story. Again, about back when I was teaching, I always had a team project, a group project,
right,
for the writing class, and I always called it the dreaded group project, and I would also tell them that there's a joke that says, when I die, I want my pallbearers to be former members of group projects so they can let me down one last time.
That is actually pretty good, Rick. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hey, we need to get scary in this Halloween season. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the time of the show where we get really spooky. That's the segment title. This week's episode, talk about a mixed bag, Myrtle. This is ridiculous.
All right, so I have alluded to this in previous episodes. Okay. Myrtle's one of these people who, God love her, she doesn't want to take advantage of me, and she doesn't want to ask me to do things for her or help her, but she wants me to solve all her problems after she creates them. Okay. Well, Myrtle built a house recently.
Okay.
Okay. And not only did she not ask me to build her house, she didn't ask me to roof her house.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
So Myrtle started having all kinds of problems, and we started looking into exactly what was going on. And I tried to explain to Myrtle what a roof system was.
Right.
Okay. And I was using CertainTeed's integrity roof system as an example for her.
Right.
Okay. Where we take a water underlayment, a winter guard product, we take a starter product, we take an underlayment product, we take a shingle product, we take a ridge product, we take ventilation product from one manufacturer.
Right.
And create a system that has the redundancies that are required to keep water out of her new home.
Right.
So we get to investigating, seeing what's going on, and lo and behold, I get a copy of the invoice for the materials that were sent to Myrtle's home for her roof.
Okay.
Okay. Had CertainTeed shingles.
Okay.
Had Atlas starter. Had GAF ice and water, and I'll come back to that. Remind me to come back to this because this is important. And had some off-brand underlayment.
Okay.
Okay. And then I won't even get into the ventilation that was sent and installed on her roof because it indicated clearly that someone didn't know anything about the concepts of ventilation. The reason I said I wanted to come back to the underlayment, the ice and water, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The ice and water was on the invoice.
Right. But not on the roof.
It was not on her roof. Okay. So what I'm saying, folks, is that systems, okay, someone that knows how to install a system, and I don't care if it's CertainTeed's integrity roof system, that just happens to be what I believe in. Reason I believe in it is because of the value that it drives for the consumer in terms of ultimate warranties, okay? If it's GAFs or it's IKOs or it's Malarkeys or whatever, install all the products that that manufacturer has that are designed to be put together in a roof system and do it correctly.
Right.
Okay? Systems drive warranties. Okay? Systems and credentials drive the best warranties that are available in the industry. So if you take CertainTeed's integrity roof system, and you take a contractor like my company called Select Shingle Master, okay, that's the top 1% of all asphalt shingle installers in the country, okay, that then allows you to have the added protection that can only be offered with the system by a credentialed contractor at that level, called a 5-star Sure Start Plus warranty, which extends all of your manufacturer's warranties out 50 years as respects products with no prorations of any type.
Wow.
25 years as respects workmanship. With CertainTeed, multi-billion-dollar corporation responsible for your roof warranty. Not Scott McCollum, not McRoof, and certainly not Tom, Dick, and Harry's roofing company.
Right.
Okay? This is what you want. You want a system installed by a credentialed contractor that drives value-added warranties as something that you as a consumer can add to your roofing
And I'm
package.
guessing those warranties transfer with the house when one sells.
Those warranties are fully transferable. That is exactly right.
So it's not just whether or not you want to stay in the house, but it also adds value to the house when
It does.
if and when you go to sell.
And the whole topic that you're talking about, we'll visit about it after the break. We do something special for our clients when we know that they might potentially sell their home soon.
Okay, and with that, we'll take our second break. We'll be back with Act 3 of today's program on Home Repair McRoof Style. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. He's restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCollum. We're taking your home improvement questions to 405-656-5868. Like I say, more obscure historical trivia, including some Beatles, when we come back after the break. This is the McRoof Radio Network.
Folks, the Daylight Doctor is my premier Solitube dealership. Solitube is the industry leader in tubular skylight technology. Our products capture, transfer, and deliver the most incredible daylight into your home. We have an array of add-on and appearance options unmatched in the industry. Our solar nightlight qualifies your purchase for a 30% energy tax credit, as does our daylight dimmer. That's right, a daylight dimmer, because some folks actually want to dim the extraordinary light we bring into their home. Our leak-proof seamless flashings are designed for installation on any type of roof: asphalt, shakes, slate, any tile or concrete profile, or even metal roofing. On the exterior, we offer our traditional bubble dome with ray bender technology, or we offer our sleek, low-profile collector for an attractive, subtle appearance on your roof. Give us a call today at 405-977-5483, 977-5483, or visit us online at www.OKCSkylights.com. Schedule your complimentary in-home consultation with the Daylight Doctor himself, Tad Minke, at your convenience. The doctor knows his stuff, and I guarantee you, he'll have the prescription for your dreary spaces. Call today.
Honoring America's Warriors is an Oklahoma City-based nonprofit that provides military honors and ceremonies, service dogs for disabled veterans, and multiple activities and events for the veteran and their family. When Honoring America's Warriors was established, our first sponsor and supporter was McRoof. Now, years later, McRoof and the McCullum family continue to provide financial support to Honoring America's Warriors' important programs. To learn more about our mission, go to honoringamericaswarriors.org. Go to honoringamericaswarriors.org today.
I'm Dustin Holtz, and I am McRoof. We're looking for the best talent in the roofing and restoration industries to join our team of solutions specialists. Hear what our customers have to say. Here's Johnny.
They were such pleasant young men, set my mind at ease. So thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
Now here's John.
My hat's off to McRoof for making that happen when nobody else would touch it. You really made a difference in our lives.
And then Dean.
You really know your roofing business and you do quality work. But what sets you apart from other roofers is the people. You treated us just like family.
Want to sell shingles? Go work for another roofer. Want to change people's lives by providing quality solutions? Come join our team. Email me at dustin.holt@mcroof.us. dustin.holt@mcroof.us.
I'm Scotty McCollum, and I am McRoof. The qualities that every McRoof team member possesses are attention to detail, integrity, and a commitment to be an expert in our field. The goal of every McRoof project is to restore a home or business to the fullest extent, and in the process, we try to create a relationship as well as lasting peace of mind. We're not happy if you're not happy.
Replacement done right. McRoof.us, 855-766-3405. Home Repair McRoof Style back on the air for Act 3 of today's show. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We're live in studio with restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum, and we're taking your home improvement questions. Actually, this is last call for your call, 405-656-5868. On this date in 1879, Thomas Edison perfected the carbonized cotton filament light bulb. Now, I don't think that's what he continued using. I don't think it was cotton, but he made major headway on this date in 1879. And then jumping way forward to 1962, and I remember this, I was a youngster, President Kennedy imposed the naval blockade of Cuba, beginning the Cuban Missile Crisis. Boy, those were scary times.
Yeah, they were.
Scary times.
Remember all the bomb, the the things that we had to do,
Stop,
getting under the desk,
under the desk,
going into the bomb shelters,
and
doing all
climbing
that
under
stuff.
the house with a basket of canned goods.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness!
yeah.
But most importantly, on this date in 1969, Paul McCartney denied the greatly exaggerated rumors of his death.
So where did those rumors come from?
They somewhere somebody got the wild hair that he had died in this car wreck that was described in the song "A Day in the Life" from the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. But all through the White Album, somebody came up with clues that they swore proved that
He was dead.
That Paul was dead, and that from 1967 on, someone was taking his place. There was a double taking his place.
Interesting.
Cult.
Yeah. Cult fiction, right? Not pulp fiction,
Yeah.
cult fiction.
Okay. So when we last left our hero, we were talking about the roof system.
Roof systems, yeah. I think that the point that I want to make to people, if they haven't figured it out by now, if you don't think it matters who installs your roof, then you're more than likely going to find yourself in all these kinds of trials and tribulations and situations, just like Myrtle has found herself in.
Yeah.
You know, we've had Myrtle in situations with a new home roof that wasn't properly installed. We've had her in situations with the SA, the self-adhered product that the people didn't even know to peel the backing off of it, and first time the wind blew, it's laying in her backyard.
Right.
We've had her in the situations with people putting on layers and layers and layers of tar on her roof and things. So these are the kinds of things that happen when you probably haven't done your due diligence. Maybe you're desperate. I can understand that. You just want somebody that gives you the indication that they'll even show up and do something. But quite honestly, doing the due diligence, making sure that you ask for references, checking to make sure that they've got credentials and that they know what they're doing. That's on you, the consumer, unfortunately.
And when you say Myrtle, you're just changing the name of the innocent to protect their ignorance.
That's exactly right. There's actually a customer's name out of my either Roof RX or McRoof files that is associated with every one of these stories that I tell you week to week to week.
And you just lovingly refer to that customer as Myrtle.
Yeah, my
Bless her heart.
Good old Myrtle. That's
Bless her heart.
That's exactly right. So
well, and boy, I sound like a broken record sometimes when I ask this question, but because there's no inspection of residential roofs in Oklahoma City anyway, how does a homeowner have any guarantee that a roof is being installed properly?
Well, see, here's the thing is you can't rely on inspection. Okay.
Right.
Most places where inspection actually exists for roofs, that is a cursory, what we call a drive-by inspection, kind of waving at it.
Right.
It's not getting down into the grass and getting into the mud and really looking and seeing that things were done the way that they're supposed to be done. Number one, you have to vet your contractors, and we've talked for years about all the different ways to be able to do that through the Construction Industries Board, the Better Business Bureau, manufacturers' websites, asking them about their credentials, a current recent list of satisfied clients, and then call them. Don't just accept that if they put their name down that they're going to be happy. Going and looking at some of the work, things like this. There are things that you can do to educate yourself about what that process should look like. Okay, we have the Consumer's Guide to a great roofing experience that I wrote.
Okay,
that book is available. We've got literature out there for people to be able to understand. CertainTeed has a library of literature. about it's time to replace your roof, here's what you need to do. How to choose a professional roofing contractor, what to look for on the job site, what are the questions to ask. People should do this, okay? Because if you think that a building permit, a roofing permit, or an inspection is going to guarantee you that you get what you're supposed to get, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, our friend Ben is on the line. Hello, Ben. Good to hear from you.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
We're good, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. I've got a question for you, and it's pretty pertinent based on what you were just discussing.
Okay.
A neighbor of mine just got a new roof put on, and it's been a while going through the process to get it. And this was done by one of your major nearby competitor companies.
Mm-hmm.
I won't name them. And there are some messes up of sorts. And I was talking with him about it. He's also our neighborhood association president. And he says his contact with this company tells him that the roofing crews are in a pool during the off season, and rather than be responsible for all the employee requirements of any given company, they go into a pool and they're hired when as needed for given jobs. If that is true, that's my question to you: is that true? And is part A, and part B is, I hope and presume that your company doesn't operate there.
Well, okay, so number one, how that has been explained to your friend doesn't make any sense to me. There's, what he's saying is that, they just hire whoever they need when they need them, okay? And that is a model. We all operate in a subcontractor model in this part of the country. Only the largest roofing contractors, typically large commercial roofing contractors, actually have employees who are installing roofs. Everyone else works in a subcontractor model. So number one, we have subcontractors that are consistently used on a day in and a day out basis by my company. Okay.
So you have reliable subcontracting crews.
Exactly. And those
number one. My question was that you don't use just any subcontracting crews. You use the ones that are proven
we don't go out and hire somebody off of the street. Okay. Our crews, number one, they've signed a subcontractor agreement, independent contractor agreement with me. They've provided all of their workers' compensation and general liability documentation to us from their agent to us, not out of a notebook or something that they handed to us. Number three, they have been through Certainteed, through Trevor's Certainteed master shingle applicator training. It's required for our company that at least 50% of our installers on any project have that credential. Okay. So they are up to date and current on all of the best practices and specifically installation guidelines for every one of Certainteed's products. They have the master shingle, they have the shingle applicator manual on their phones or iPads in Spanish on the job site. When we go to a job site, if there's a detail or something that needs to be discussed, those are all reviewed before we ever start the job, and then they are consistently checked throughout the job to make sure that idiosyncrasy about a particular shingle product from Certainteed is being done exactly per the manufacturer's instructions. Here's a big difference in us and most roofing companies. Most roofing companies in Oklahoma City order material, send it to a job site, hire a subcontractor crew, and never see that job, okay? When McRoof does your roof, number one, typically I am there most times on most jobs to meet the material and to meet the crew. Make sure the material is correct, make sure that the crew knows exactly what needs to be done on this job. We walk the job, we go over all the details. The crew foreman or the subcontractor is introduced to the homeowner. Now we're all off to a good start. We're ready to go to work and get this job done. then continually throughout the day, we are there checking, documenting, photographing every aspect of that work up until the time that the job is done that night. When we have photographs of a detailed, clean roof, every detail on the roof, we have details and photographs of the clean job site. We have details and photographs of all the material being removed from the driveway, swept for nails, everything, and we have pictures of us as we drive away. That's what a professional does. And of all the contractors in Oklahoma City, I'm going to tell you, there are a handful of companies that do business that way.
Well, I know you've covered this in various aspects and portions in past radio programs and all, but when my neighbor was telling me that, I was going, what? Okay, I understand having subcontractors, but you use the same ones over and over again because they have proven their worth.
That is
That was
correct.
my hope and point when I was asking the question.
Yep, that is correct.
And giving some clarity to our listeners, your radio neighbors, so to speak.
Yep. Well, and I would tell you this, Ben. I would tell you that, generally speaking, the project manager for that company that you're referring to should be able to answer and satisfy your friend as to every aspect of that job. If the project manager cannot do it, call the general manager of the company. And if the general manager doesn't do it, call the owner of the company. They're all in the same office. And if at the end of that point in time your friend is still not satisfied, hire Roof RX to come out and do a Hague certified, qualified inspection of the roof to detail every aspect of the roof that is not correct. We'll sign it, date it, and put our credential number on it from Hague, give it to him. Now he's got leverage of what he needs to do going forward.
Well, I tried to get him to engage you guys at least to be a competitive bidder, and he said he was going with quote unquote the best.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
Ben, we got to move on. We're running out of time.
Problems getting this thing off the ground, and it's a drip edge problem. So
yeah. All right, Ben, we got to go. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Ben.
Hey, it's time for us to get stormy. And this is a sound we may hear Monday.
Yeah, we hope we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hope we do.
Boy, well, I tell you, what a week. Record lows, record highs, and now we're talking about maybe record rainfall.
Yeah, that's cool.
After the storm.
Yep, so inspect, repair, and maintain. Give Roof RX a call, 405-877-7663. We're running out of time on some of the storm dates. The October storm date from Norman area is gone. That was a 10/21 storm date, so we're now beyond a year on that. If your policy had a 1-year notification provision, that's problematic going forward. And then we do have some other storm dates through the spring of this year that we'll be running out of as we go into the next 3, 4, 5 months. Now's the time to get your roof looked at, make sure that everything's in good shape for winter. If you need a few little flashing details, a pipe boot, some silicone details, things like that, you can get it all taken care of. So.
Okay, I need to tell everyone that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 80000002, and the registration applies to residential and commercial roofing. Dad's wisdom, wrapping up.
All right, so from Dad, you can't fix stupid, son. And my son, Scotty, says it this way: when you're stupid for a long time.
This has been episode number 241 of Home Repair McRoof Style on the McRoof Radio Network. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. He's restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. Retro Radio Randy on the other side of the glass. Thank you, sir. We will see you all next week.